What's up, everybody? Spot of Nerd here with a brand new episode that I don't even want to do because you kind of have to, just because it's like a new movie. It's also a well-known movie. It's Halloween, so it's horror. P.S. We are working on the second annual Spooktacular from yours truly, Spot of Nerd, which is coming out here pretty quick. So this will be similar to the Comic-Con episodes, where it's just very minimal edits, because I don't want to do this, but I do want to do this just so that I can hopefully save you money. I can save you time, because what a pile of ass that this latest horror flick sequel was. That just, frankly, I just shouldn't be surprised anymore. I really shouldn't be surprised, but I continue to just get duped and waste my time and my money and everything in between. So let's talk about Smile 2. Just when you thought Hollywood couldn't make anything worse than Joker Folie à Deux, Smile 2 says, hold my fucking beer. And lo and behold, wow. So this might be brief, this might be long, I don't know, but we'll just get into it here real quick. The usual suspects. I would love you guys so much. If you haven't already, if you would be ever so kind, go ahead, hit the subscribe button right down below. Give me the thumbs up, comment, tell me your thoughts. Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Do you give two shits? Because hopefully this video will save you from having to waste your time and money. Like I've said, because we are a broken record here on this channel. But lo and behold, my audience is growing, so hopefully it continues to do so. So, spoiler as well. If you don't want to know what happens in Smile 2, go and watch Smile 1, because it's the same fucking movie. Shocker. But from the trailer, if you've seen Smile 2, the trailer, there was a little glimmer of hope in relation to, like, oh, didn't know we needed a sequel. Sure, the first one left off that you could do a sequel. Didn't know you were gonna do it, but okay, how are you gonna manipulate this, or how are you gonna move this forward, blah 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 blah. Lo and behold, they pulled a Star Wars, they pulled a Marvel, they pulled every other franchise that is currently dying right now because of woke politics, because of political agendas, because of everything else in between that ruins franchises. And the other thing that ruins it is simply copy and pasting the exact same story. Now, to be very clear, I actually really enjoyed the first Smile film. I thought it was different. I thought it was unique. It was a different take on horror. It was a different take on, like, just psychological thriller. You know, you have this demon who goes inside of people, and the only way that it survives is like a parasite that it has to basically kill somebody in front of somebody else in order to mutate or something, pass on itself, blah blah blah, whatever. The bottom line is, it was creative. It was, like I said, different. It was badass. And to this day, I'm still, quote unquote, no pun intended, Halloween, haunted by the ending of that film. That shit was fucking disturbing. So, with this new film, Cliff Notes, it picks up 6 days later. Now, if you aren't familiar with the film, long story short, once the demon gets inside of somebody, usually by day 7, they're dead because they've lost their mind. Thus, they kill themselves in front of somebody else, thus passing on the demon to somebody else. So, movie picks up 6 days later, and that first sequence, I'll give it an okay, like, alright, I see what you're trying to do here. Lo and behold, the friend of the girl in the first film, by the way, you know this channel, look up the cast, I don't care. I've had people give me grief from that. Go for it. I just don't. You have a phone literally probably in your hand right now. Look up the cast. So, the guy in the beginning, he obviously saw the girl in the first film die because she obviously eventually had the demon come out, blah, blah, blah. So he's on day 6, aka he's on day 7, basically gonna die. And he does. Shocker. And he dies in front of this like drug dealer for a superstar. Think Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift is the main cast person in this sequel. You, again, just go watch the trailer. And it just falls to pieces from there. It really, really does. Cliff notes: this superstar, she got in this crazy car accident. She used to be this crazy drug dealer, sex fiend person. You know, the Hollywood got to her and blah, 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 blah. So she got into this car wreck, and basically she's changed her whole life for the better. You know, it's a year later. Everything's great and dandy, but at the same time, you know, like anybody, and I admit this, you know, when you deal with a lot of health issues, you unfortunately have to deal with the side effects of that. Chronic pain, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm getting at is, she uses this kid who now has the demon as her drug dealer. So she needs some Vicodin from him once in a blue moon because she's got back pain. So she's about to go on tour. She's about to start her brand new tour after all this drama and all this. Imagine again, today, if like Taylor Swift ended up being a drug dealer, sex fiend, and the public found out, and a year later, she's changed her life and gotten rehab and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm not putting that down. Let's be very clear. I am not putting any of that stuff down. I'm just simply trying to set you up with the story, because that is the fucking story. It's a soap opera. It's a fucking daily morning Price is Right. That's what you do every morning, is you watch your daily drama, whatever. You know those things like they used to literally play in the mornings on television, which I'm probably sure they still do, and it would be like 20 years, they would still have the same show, the same people would sleep with the same other people, and it just was like some crazy sex parties and shit. It just, literally the entire film of Smile 2 fucking hours, is just going through the story of how the challenges that this girl has faced, and she's getting, you know, she's growing and changing for the better. She's no longer doing drugs, and she's going through therapy, and she's rekindling her friendship with her best friend, and her mom is like trying to help regrow her career again, and she's trying to set up for this tour that she's gonna do, and she's got all these adoring fans, and da-da-da-da-da. 2 fucking hours. Oh yeah, there's Smile where there's a demon. Okay, back to the girl about, like, you know, how crazy great was it that she was able to move on and grow past her demons of drugs, demons, no pun intended, blah, 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 blah. It just is like, it's fucking boring as shit. This movie is a 2 hour and like 5-10 minutes. It could have easily been about, I don't know, 9 minutes long, because that's the only portion about this film that you give 2 fucks about, is obviously the demon, and, you know, she's losing her mind because she sees this crazy ass shit. One of the biggest reason that this movie fails, on top of everything else, is the gore factor. One of the most amazing things that the first Smile film, one of the most amazing things that the first Smile film did, practical effects. And you can actually go and watch this. I've seen a few YouTube things, blah, blah, blah. They did practical effects with the demon, with the gore, so on and so forth. In this film, it's all CG fucking I. If there is one thing that separates you in terms of gore, in terms of thriller, that will separate you from a great film to a tragic film, which this is CGIing your gore. That's one of the most amazing things, like I said, or I'm going to be saying in the second annual Spooktacular. We will talk about Terrifier 3. It's practical effects. Yeah, it might be overdone. It also might be realistic. I don't know. I've never seen somebody's head rip open. I've never seen somebody like get their brains splat everywhere. I can only imagine what it is through the films that I've seen, like Halloween, all those classics like Freddy and things like that. This film CGIs its gore, and it's to the point where you're looking at it going, really? You can literally see the CGI. You can see the blue screen, even at the very end. Like, huge spoiler here. If you don't want to know, look away. But again, like, it fucking matters. Ultimately, shocker, the demon does eventually catch up to her, the main superstar, and kills her. Thus, at the end of the film, she's basically like ripping open herself so that the demon can emerge. It just looks fucking terrible. This literally looks like something I could do on my home computer, and y'all would go, that looks like shit. But at the same time, these are studio produced fucking films. Holy fucking hell. Sorry, I get a little passionate sometimes, as you might imagine if you're familiar with the channel, because it's something that really could have been something special. It could have been 1,000 times better than what they gave us. And ultimately, like I've said through my Instagram posts, social media, other stuff, if you have any desire to see this film, if you have any interest whatsoever, let me just save you 2 fucking hours. Go all the way out until hour 2 and watch the film from there. Literally, what happens is the demon takes over her. She goes out on stage, her first appearance in over like 1 year, 2 years since her whole ordeal with drugs and blah, 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 blah. And she kills herself in front of 20,000 fans, some of which are live streaming the concert. So that's where I will give this maybe a pinch of like, okay, I'll give you that. What that means is, what will happen if they make a third film? We don't know, because ultimately the demon only needs one individual to pass on to. At this film, basically, that demon has 20,000 plus people that they can bounce off into. So are we going to be, is a third film just going to show us nothing but the population being completely psychologically messed up and having demons everywhere? Like, is it like breeding like out of control? I don't know. If anything, that's the only good thing about it, is that I can think about what a third film could be. And the reason I get excited is because it's something different. It's something unique. It's something original that the first Smile film did. This film is a fucking giant, insert political blah blah blah, mess agenda, crap-tasticness, everything else negative here. Ugh. You know what? I think that's enough. I think that's all that needs to get exposed, because quite frankly, if you got this far, I appreciate you, but I think you get the idea behind why this movie fails. I really, really do. If you don't, let me know in the comments, because I'll gladly give you some more details about just how tragic this film really, really is. Obviously, spoiler, 0 cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. Shocker, oh my god, didn't see that coming, because what a pile of fucking shit this movie is. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, you're welcome. Okay, all jokes aside, super, super huge thanks, seriously, for everybody that got this far. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, are you gonna go see it? Have you seen it? What is your take? Did you see the first one? Did you like the first one? Do you have any desire to see the second one? Seriously, I want to know, because let's talk about it. All that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? Please stay tuned. We have got a huge Halloween episode coming probably by this next week. Definitely probably before Halloween, but like I'm really excited about it because we're going to be talking about 3 crazy awesome, but also not crazy awesome Halloween movies. Specifically Terrifier 3, which I'm so excited about. And quite frankly, you should be checking out too if you have not already. Until then, folks, we will see you guys in the next video. Laters. Here's your end credit scene too, if my other portion of this video didn't really kind of get hold in terms of making you not want to go and see this Smile 2 film. Instead of being like, suspenseful or like keeps you on the edge of your seat type horror, that demon psychological thriller, change all of that with just cringe, just horribleness. And I'll give you the perfect example. So there's a scene in the film where Musician Gal is meeting a lot of fans, and quite frankly, they're trying, the way they visually try to film this film, they're trying to get you to like be scared and almost like, oh, it's the demon. You've probably seen it in the trailer, or there's a clip where like there's this girl with pigtails that comes up to her and she's like, do you want me to sign your shirt? And it's just, I understand the director probably wanted you to be spooked because this girl has a giant smile on her face, like, ooh, I'm a demon, I'm coming to get you. But it's just cringe. It really, really is cringe. In that same exact scene, there's another like super fan. It's a dude who basically needs to be escorted out of the building because he's confessing his love to her and blah 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 blah. And again, it's just that type of content that just, instead of trying to scare you, it's just cringe. It really is like, can we move on please, because this is just weird now. This isn't even scary, this is just weird and uncomfortable. It's like when you fart in an elevator. I mean, unless you're doing the farting, but you don't tell anybody, it's just kind of weird because somebody shit their pants or something and it just smells like shit. It's a terrible metaphor, but just go with it.